Good morning. Welcome to BCB Live. You have Sir Rick and Drive Safe Dave. Drive Safe Dave, we have the ATA going on right now in Tennessee. Big talks right now from Bob Castillo, the chief economist from the ATA, talking about the increase in GDP, going over how it was, last year, a low last year, up this year, though, significant, but more importantly, kind of projecting a bigger next year at 4% growth next year.
Which is over double what it normally is. But what's nice to know is that the economists are still seeing what's been reported here all along on BCB Live, that next year continues this upward trend and this big move across the country.
Yeah, a lot of material, right, goes into that GDP. I'm not the expert of it, but Mr. Castillo himself, the chief economist, says, hey, you know what? It's a fact. This is what it's doing. However, I really don't use that to talk about trucking. I use the retail, the construction. Those items is what he really kind of goes over, including the industrial production. And we go over this right now. Retail spending alone up 20%. Drive Safe Dave. It's really kind of gone out of control. And it's really, you think about it, we've spoken about that as well, as when you have, a lot of money being given away in here, what happens is we spend the money primarily on goods, not services, especially when we're just getting money. And what happened was we weren't working and we were still getting paid. We also come to the infrastructure bill, still kind of waiting on things to happen on that.
They are not
right.
They're struggling. They're still trimming the bill. They're still making it less and less, and they're still trying to figure out the moderates and the moderates are still dealing with the progressive. They're still trying to come up with a good number that they all agree with, and they are cutting each and every package that they've got in the bill to try to make it something that they agree with. But it is no longer going to be this 3.5. In fact, we'll be lucky if it's 1.5.
Yeah, I think people are starting to get the fact that it's not going to cost us anything isn't really true, right? I mean, how do you fund something? It's like when you say, hey, it's free shipping. Is it really free shipping, or is it all baked into some cost? Nothing's for free. Ask my kids. They get that, Drive Safe Dave. When you're going to pump out a trillion, a couple $1 trillion, someone is going to pay for that. And Drive Safe, we're going to kind of go into just a little bit about what we see today in the market. Again, we want to focus on this number right here, that 15,327. That's a huge shipment count. If you go to every other year, again, hanging out right around that 10% mark, it's 50% more freight. Now, here's the interesting thing, Drive Safe. We do believe we're going to kind of go in the same float as we did in the green. That green is last year. Some say it's going to get a little bigger. A lot of freight we are expecting. Can we get it in? Those are the challenges that we're up against. I don't know if we can call this a hero or not. It's illegal running. Did you see about the cannonball run from the East Coast to the West Coast?
Well, yeah, I saw that. That's pretty interesting, neat stuff.
What? I figured it'd be neat to a motorcycle guy, to an illegal runner, to a little guy that goes out there and just wants to break all the rules. I can see how that's interesting. Drive Safe Dave. It went from Manhattan to Redondo Beach, California. It's a really unsanctioned race, right?
It
you
is.
Really don't. Nobody's going to get behind this. You're not going to have Nabisco getting behind the race. That's illegal. Over 2,800 miles is what that is. Listen to this guy that just set the record. First of all, he completed that run in 32 hours and 52 minutes on a motorcycle. 32 hours and 52 minutes.
I remember those days.
Some of the things that he happened to have was a 7-gallon auxiliary fuel tank, right?
Wow.
He had radar detection,
wow.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
And he had a laser jammer, just in case that radar detector didn't work.
Nice.
He had 2 mounted phones, averaged 87 miles an hour.
Whoa.
87 miles is what he averaged, only stopped 7 times. That was to only get fuel, because the dude had a catheter on him, mounted up so he didn't have to waste his time going to the bathroom.
All right,
that, my friend, is for real. He had a Camelback with the water. That's how he got it. That's how he drank. He had a power bar. He had the protein bars. He was ready to go. That is absolutely amazing. And yes, Drive Safe Dave, he took plenty of caffeine pills to
That-
make sure that he was alert out there. That's not what we want in Drive Safe, Dave.
Not good. Not
Certainly
good.
on that 2,800-mile trip in a motorcycle, he could have found some parking.
Yeah, he definitely could have found some part. But you know what? That made famous, that Cannonball Run made famous what by the movie Cannonball Run
Yes, sir.
in the late 70s. One of my favorite movies with Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise. But I'll tell you what, that, and they've been doing that. They've actually been unsanctioning that run for years.
For years.
For
sure.
years. And they've been doing that on a regular basis.
And now somebody's going to have to beat it because it's a new record. When you have a new record, somebody's going to have to get. I don't know how you do it. 87 is what he averaged, Drive Safe, Dave.
Yeah, that means stopping.
Went
that
as
means,
fast as 120.
Okay, I bet he went faster than that on that motorcycle.
And he won't say where he went 120.
Yeah, oh no, you can't.
And producer, I don't know if you saw there. I guess the wind and everything was so bad on this ride that his tires were they were lopsided or oval or something like that when he got there, not really round anymore.
Yeah, because of the weather conditions and also the wind, his tires were completely bald by the time he actually got there. Also, his lights went out as soon as nighttime came around that he had installed because he only paid $4,000 for this motorcycle right before the race and just went for it. So,
Yes, I forgot that part there. It was a $4,000 bike.
You don't even need a laser jammer or a radar detector if you're running in the dark and flying at 90 miles an hour. You know what he's gonna see.
A great job of this driver in the middle lane, right? There goes this truck, right? It's getting there's a merge point, and you can see everybody's passing this driver, and watch what happens. This truck driver decides not to take the exit. And great job. Look how quick the space. I mean, this is what you got to do. You got to just get out of there. Don't worry about anything else but getting as much space between you and this person in case something goes wrong. And what we're going to see later on is not a big rig, but something that did go wrong as somebody was passing uncontrollably. So
you see the turn indicator come on, but by that point, he's already in the lane. You know, when you find yourself in that situation, use those indicators just a little earlier if you can to let the big truck know behind you that, hey, I need a little help. Yeah. Here they go on right now.
Hey, and this next one, folks, this is tailgating. Okay, remember that. It's tailgating. We've got to back out of these and not create the tailgate situation. And then, as we see a lot in these videos, drivers, one bad decision leads to another one, right? You're tailgating, so instead of slowing down and backing off, then it pushes you out there into a quick lane change. And we've shown things falling off of trailers. We're going to see a video today where somebody lost control. You've seen that truck coming over. What if somebody else does that in front of these people and slam on the brakes and you're caught out there in the middle of nowhere?
Hey, Bob, I know you're looking at new technology today on some of the cameras, right? Mm-hmm. Does any of the technology we see today actually notify a driver that says, hey, you're 1 second behind?
Yeah, it absolutely does. It was one of the things we love. We really like this. A lot of the camera systems now have what they call artificial intelligence, and they do in-cab coaching, which I really love because it gives you that signal right away. Hey, you may think that space is in front of you, but with the speed of that vehicle and yours, it will calculate it and say, hey, you are 9.9 seconds to impact. And I like that terminology because it kind of sets its own. Just saying, hey, you're following 0.9 seconds doesn't really alert a driver, maybe not get their attention. But when you say, hey, you're 0.9 seconds from a crash, then it may grab your attention a little bit more. I like that as well when they give it. Hey, we talk all the time, folks. One of the things, remember, 1 out of 5 will jump out. You have to slow down. Good job here at the end because that vehicle put the brakes on. But remember, when you've got traffic stopped on a lane next to you, 1 out of 5 is going to get impatient and jump out, and you have to be able to react to that. So when you're in this lane right next to the slow lane or the stop lane, you've got to slow it down a little bit, right? This driver's doing about 51 miles an hour. So again, that's not enough reaction time if somebody jumps out right in here. So good job at the end, though, did slow down. Intersections, again, danger, 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 right? Should be the alarm here. Red light, and it just didn't seem like that truck was slowing down at all. And it's like it was red for a long time. Prepare to stop at these intersections. And if you look at that intersection, it doesn't look like the clean, cross intersection. It looks like it's a little bit angled as well. And that always gives some maybe visibility issues, some things that you just don't grab because of the angle of the intersection. Again, hey, read the signs. Great patience here, right? Construction, you got all kinds of warning signs merging, and then what's going to happen? Where's the patience, folks? This is illegal. Legal, dangerous, absolutely no room for it. So you just can't do this. You have to pack your patience. Just sit here. You're not going anywhere. You're going to get to that little, what did you get? You got to where you could have got out there legally a few seconds earlier?
Yeah, so, and what we have to remember is if now somebody's merging on, they hit you. I mean, you're guilty. You were in the wrong all the way here. Not only do we have camera video of it, but probably the vehicle that may brush up against you, have that accident, there as well probably are going to have the same kind of cameras on it. And folks, you just like Buckle Up Bob said, we just have to just pack the patience a little bit more. We don't have the right, and I get it. Right now, Drive Safe Dave, traffic's backed up a little bit. It sucks. It doesn't give you the right to break the law, though.
No, you can't cross two solid white lines in like this at all. And
even when the roads are backed up like this?
Not at all.
But the car in front of me did it, Drive Safe Dave.
You know what? I know this is really difficult for everybody to understand. You're not self-entitled to break the law. You're not above everyone else out there. In fact, your responsibility and your leadership out there on the road is necessary for the success of everybody around you. And we're asking for you to be the leaders of the road and do what needs to be done. And this isn't it. And you know what it's saying right here? You give a bad image to drivers out there when everybody else is doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that one guy in the truck drivers think they own the road. They get to break the law and get out there and make it dangerous for everybody else when drivers should be the one out there leading the way.
Yeah, perception, reality, we talk about it all the time. And this just set the industry back, right? Because now everybody in that line thinks, well, here goes another truck driver. They're unsafe. And that's the opinion they're going to form, whether it's true or not. Hey, we've been talking this week about some hours of service. And I want to focus today on something that's really important, and it extends far more than hours of service. And that is pre and post trips, right? Man, this thing is huge. It's how you set your whole day up to start your day, right? You've got to have a good pre-trip on your equipment. You got to find the things that are wrong, and you can't ignore them. You got to get them resolved, get them fixed. Many drivers over the years I've talked to, they think that you only have to log one a day. That is not true. It is required for a pre and a post. And just as a reminder, we've had this pop up in some accident investigations. So for you carriers out there, to help your company, to help yourself, you've got to do DVIR reports. When you find things wrong, even if you can fix them or you get a garage right away to fix them, you still have to do that DVIR report and show that, yes, you found a problem and it was taken care of. So don't forget the DVIR report. For most drivers, it's right under the options tab, and then you just follow the prompts. Hit the DVIR report. This next one, we want to pause it right here, and I want to challenge the drivers out there that are listening. This looks very harmless. What do you think is going to happen, right? If you do, raise your hand real quick. If not, that's okay, but just watch what happens as we roll this footage a little bit further.
Okay, we have the...
Looks pretty innocent so far. Maybe I could have backed off a little bit, but now watch. That car sees it. This driver sees it. And now pause it right about here.
All right, hold on a second. So Drive Safe Dave, we had the pickup truck, right, pulling that trailer with some kind of bobcat or something behind it. What happened there?
He's lost the weight of the trailer is taken over of the driving. The driver's no longer driving the vehicle. The weight of the trailer is actually pushing the truck, and you'll notice in the end ultimately what's in the front when it comes to a stop. The trailer is in the front, not the truck. So it's driving, right? It's trying to drive the whole way this thing's going on. The trailer's in control back there. And you can see the overcorrecting that's happening by the truck. Everything just goes bad in a minute. And I would say driving too fast and overcorrecting. And then I think what happens is he loses a little bit of control out there on the shoulder of the road.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with you on that shoulder for certain what happens. But what you saw here, let's talk about some good things we saw. We saw the car right on the right-hand side react to what he or she saw as well and back off. Give me some space because something bad's happening here. We saw the big truck right here filming this thing right now on the Garmin, looking at it right now, sees the same thing. Something is wrong right now. And we start to slow down to make sure that we don't get involved in this accident. And so again, stop it right here, producer. Right here, it looks like we have the car on the right, the big truck in the left lane. Everybody is, the Smith system is working at its best. Everything is perfect as far as what we see. And then.
Yeah. And what I like about that car didn't stop in the lane. They got over to the shoulder. They got as far over as they possibly could. And then again, so now you think it's all over, right? This driver almost comes to a complete stop, right? It's not over yet, folks. Again, where's the safest place to be? In this case, right where this driver was, because there goes a truck, probably not paying attention, and couldn't stop and had to pass on the left, on the shoulder. Unbelievable. In less than a minute, folks, this scenario changed a bunch of times, right, with potential hazards. And then this driver does another great thing, right? Let's get over and make sure everybody's okay, right? Is anybody hurt? Let's get people here that needed to be, ambulances, police, whatever's needed to help this situation and make sure this driver's okay.
I don't know if we're going to have this driver on the line today or not, but we see everything right here. We see the vehicle on the right again, the big truck, everybody recognizing what's going on. We're slowing down. We're backing up. Everything's good. Drive safe, Dave. The only issue now is I believe we've done a lot to protect life. We got another big truck behind us that's not seeing what's going on. So my question would be on this one here, did we react as well in time to hit those hazards, to let those folks know behind us is that, hey, man, I got a problem up here. I got a problem. Look out for me. Slow down.
Yeah, and if you watch this video, it didn't look like they did it. They do have them on now, but not right when the truck passed. So another great point.
Nighttime driving, Dave, it's a little tricky, right? I mean, sometimes you can't see what's going on. However, there were brake lights going on. I'm just going to say we've got to make sure that we're staying focused up ahead. We see some trouble up there. There's probably brake lights on the big truck right now. We see the car in the right lane as well. Brake light stopping. If I'm a big truck behind me right now, I've got to recognize these things. If I'm a car behind this big truck, I've got to recognize the same thing and slow down. Something is going on. We can't be we can't be distracted at this moment. And it just seemed for everybody probably on the road, you know what, if there's a time to be distracted, it's probably now. There's not that many vehicles on the road. I mean, what could possibly happen,
I was looking to see if that tanker was placarded as it went by. I was looking for a hazardous material, a fuel truck, just making it even a more dangerous situation as we go involved. And these situations evolve in real time out there on the road as we continue to drive and do our job. And I know, let me tell you, as you were watching the video, you can get lulled into a sense of security because it's quiet, not much traffic and not much going on. But here in this moment, everything just unraveled quickly, and reacting accordingly and working to make sure that you see and do what needs to be done in these moments. It's imperative that you stay away from danger, you identify danger, and you allow other people to know that danger is there as well.
What a great video for a simulator, right?
Yeah,
to
right.
put all these things that are going to pop up at you in a matter of seconds. I thought it was just a phenomenal video. Great job by that driver.
Hey, producer, who do we have on the phone?
Yeah, we got Ira Zillist. What do you got for us this morning?
Good morning, Ira.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hey, Ira, good morning to you, sir.
Yes, I'm the driver that was driving in that last video.
Awesome.
And that scenario was I was in the hammer lane because the truck that was originally in front of me was going slowly, and then he took off. And when I got ready to move back over to the right, the other vehicle that eventually lost control was coming up quickly, so I just decided to let him pass on the right and get him out of the way. And no, I didn't put my hazards on. I was a little focused on what was in front of me, but I saw the vehicle that was behind me after I stopped, and I figure if I start moving into what he's planning to move into as his get out, I'm going to make this worse. So I just stayed put.
Great process, and you had just a few seconds, buddy. Yeah, I can understand, when you were that close, getting out of the situation before the flashers. I mean, you got a whole lot of things going on, and the number one is protect yourself first. Make sure you have controlled the situation, and then try to warn as soon as you can.
Hey, so Ira, all this is going on right now, right? You have that car, the truck in front of you that's having this accident right now. In your mirror, you see the big truck behind you. I mean, what's going on in your mind during that period right there? Are you trying to see where is he going? Is he going to the left side?
Well, I saw him behind me, and I was, stayed focused on, not getting involved in the out of control situation in front of me. And once I was out in front of me, I looked at it again, and I realized he's still in my lane, and he's not slowing down. So for a second there, I thought it was actually going to be a lot worse than it turned out to be.
Yeah, that shoulder was soft too, right?
It did.
It was a soft shoulder, and I can't remember if he was placard or not. I want to say he was, but I couldn't tell you what placard was on there.
Ira, where was that? Where did that happen?
That was northbound I-45, about midway between Houston and Dallas.
Wow.
Hey, Ira, did you get out? Did you check on the driver? Everything okay with the driver that got in the accident?
What I did is I called 911, and they asked me if the driver of the vehicle was hurt. And I said, no, he's out, and he's actually doing something with his trailer. And they said, you don't need to stay, and you don't need to get out. Just move along. We'll call you if we need you. And I guess because it was dark at night, and you really never know what people are going to do in some scenarios,